That means it's preps to Olympians. And we got that covered because we got the 16 girls national champions from the AAU Beach National Championships. Savannah Standage, Kelly Belardi. That's right. More national champions on here. We also got a legend of the sport from going back from the days of women's pro beach volleyball, the WPVA, all the way moving forward. That's Patty Dodd. Some of us used to remember her as Patty Orozco. Patty Dodd's on the show. We got it covered. It's Preps to Olympians. PTO. Let's start the show.
Which one is it? Oh, God. I don't have it.
Do we have it open?
No.
That's fun.
God.
Good times.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
I would sing it, but there's no song to be sung.
Talk about Up This Week, and then you can load it.
Yeah, let's go to Up This Week.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, coming up this week on the show, we dropping Randy Rosenbloom tomorrow. That's him right there. He's the City Section Hall of Fame broadcaster. Look at that. He used to work with Coach Wood in UCLA games. He also gave us an earful during the East Bay shootout. Randy Rosenbloom. I think it was middle of February that I interviewed him for the video podcast. So that will be dropping. That's Jonas Never is a LA muralist. Now he's world renowned. And if you'll see on this one is his most recent one. That one is right there in Venice at Baby Blues Barbecue. This one at Casablanca, a couple blocks to the north of it. Each Tuesday, we've been releasing a new updated video where we kind of break into historical context, social context of his work. Jonas Never should be coming on the show Friday. And I say should be coming on the show Friday because he's committed if he doesn't have to go on what's the new NBC app, the Peacock. So if he doesn't have to, because they're going to start apparently a project with them, inside knowledge. And if he doesn't have to be there, he's going to be here. So we're looking forward to that on Friday. That's going to be a great show. Okay, do we have our open?
Yep.
Oh, then let's start the show. I'm a Venice, California-born, Los Angeles-based sports fan. One that has played, coached, announced, and promoted sports my whole life. My love affair with sports started in my own backyard and has led me to this podcast. Thanks to the support of the Amateur Athletic Union in East Bay, I'm excited to bring you Sports Stories with Denny Lennon.
Sports Stories with Denny Lennon aims to bring its subscribers interesting, unique, and uplifting stories. You can find us at sportstoriespodcast.com. We drop audio and video podcasts every Thursday and go live on YouTube Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Many guests have shared their stories with host Denny Lennon, such as Super Bowl and BCS champions Brendan Ion Badejo, Peter Boulware, and Trevor Lawrence, three-time Olympic gold medalist Karch Karai, Kentucky Derby winner Doug O'Neill, NCAA champions Toby Bailey and St. John Smith, Hall of Famers Jimmy Lennon Jr., Rudy Tomjanovich, world champions Boom Boom Mancini and Tim Leary, AAU Sullivan Award winners Catherine Plummer, Sabrina Ionescu, and Spencer Lee, not to mention the head honcho, AAU President Dr. Roger Gowdy. We've also had best-selling authors Wesley King and Wayne Coffey, and our Sports Stories favorite, Norm Bass, the first African-American to play two professional sports post-World War II. Become a friend of the show on Patreon, and you can help keep the dream alive. Go to patreon.com/Denny Lennon or go to our website to see all of our social media links. If you have an interesting, unique, or uplifting story to tell, contact us on sportstoriespodcast.com.
Coming to you live from Los Angeles. We're in the shadow of LAX. It's the top-rated video podcast in the Centinela Adobe Corridor. It's where we share a wall with the Korean United Methodist, and you can see St. Jerome Church from our back porch. We're in the 7428 studio where Jimbo and Marley run the show, and Buck kicks back until he's got to kick it out. It's SSDL Live at 5 on YouTube. That's right. We're live at 5 like we always are on Wednesdays and Friday. I remember Thursdays our video podcast drop. Randy Uninterrupted, the legendary Randy Rosenbloom, drops tomorrow. Again, if we score Jonas Never for Friday, if we don't score for this Friday, it'll be for the next. That guy is awesome. Hey, I'm supporting my boys at the Heroes Movement today. Mike McKay's coming to town. He's coming from Michigan. Heroes Movement is a collection of trainers that work with our veterans, any branch of the military, any veteran, anybody in the armed forces, and they work with them on a physical program that's designed specifically for them. It's great work that my boy McKay does, and we support him all we can. Hey, is my family here? I hope so. How about my St. Mark and St. Bernard people? What about my VBC people, my AAUers? All right, let's do this. We need to pump up the ratings. Top 5 states outside of California watching the show include Florida, Georgia. Hey, did you catch last week with the Ferrari twins? Hilarious. That's Georgia. Pump the numbers there. Way to go. New York. Oh, my daughter's out in New York right now. She's probably rallied the troops, putting up stickers. All right. Arizona's in an OHIO, Ohio, coming strong like they always do. Hey, today was kind of a trippy day in Los Angeles. You know, I usually go swimming in the ocean in the mornings. And so I just kind of snapped that because we got a mixture of the marine layer, but also that smoke that's coming for the fires. And just wanted to recognize our firefighters that are out on the front lines doing the hard work. California has been through a lot. And so we just want to send the support out that way. So keep fighting and let's keep going after it. Also, want to send my support up to my sister Sally. She's up in Oregon, and she actually has been evacuated from her place. So I know I'm not the only person with family that's close and that's having to do that. It's always kind of a scary time. So hopefully we all stick together through it. All right, so moving right along, the AVCA, that's the Association of Volleyball Coaches of America, they name a beach volleyball All-American team each year. Matter of fact, the director of the show, Marley, the one that forgot the open, she is on that committee because of her role with the AAU. That said, they recognize All-Americans that are seniors in high school. There's the list. You could peruse it at your leisure later if you watch this on replay, but we do want to recognize Angel and Bella Ferrari. They were on our show last week. They won the Junior Olympic Games in the 18 division, and they are a hoot. They're at Georgia State now, and we hope to check in with them as they work their way through their college career. They're a big hit on the show, and congratulations to them. Okay, we're doing okay. I got a Twitter account, and that's at Sports Stories DL. I do what I can to put some clips out from the shows, but also always running a poll. Okay, the one poll that's up there right now, and they're running 1 week at a time, is between 2 people that have been on this show that I have interviewed. One for the video podcast, one on the live show. That's Karch Karai on the my left, screen left, and on screen right, it's St. John Smith. And those 2, they actually played at UCLA indoor together, as well as on the beach in their early part of their career. That said, they're both legends in the sport. And I want to determine, okay, who's the king of the beach? But we're not talking as much volley as we're talking beach volleyball as we're talking about other things. So in the opening round that already was finished, Karch won as an actor. He was on Baywatch in like 1994, and apparently his acting was better than St. John, who was on a 1983 episode of Magnum P.I. All right, the second round is who had the better sponsor. St. John has pulled that one out with Sight Out. That makes sense because Karch's was Speedo, a little shaky for beach volleyball. And so I'm glad that St. John pulled that one out. Third one is up now, and I'm going to ask you who had the better team, who had a better senior year in college, St. John with his 1979 team or Karch with his 1982 team. Both teams went undefeated. Both of them were MVP of the tournament. So you got to do your homework. Take a vote. That goes for another 5 days, I think, and then we'll be on to the next. It's best out of 7, tied at 1-1. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. Okay, let's keep rolling. What do I got next? DL introduce the guest this week. Oh, I can do that. Are we ready? Hey, look, when I was a youngster, back in my mid-20s, we used to run the Venice Backyard Championships. And those were pretty legendary. They were a lot of fun, volleyball tournaments in the streets of Venice, right? So I, along with some of my cousins, got on the microphone, somebody that's connected with this new group that was going to do the WPVA, Women's Pro Beach Volleyball. They said, hey, why don't you come and try announcing Women's Pro Beach Volleyball? And so I did. One of the first people that I met was Patty Dodd, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Remains Patty Dodd. I think that was over 30 years ago. I'm so happy she's on the show. Before we bring her on, we got a video montage. So this goes back to 1989. This is some pro beach volleyball hosted in Japan. Now, Patty might correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure that there was a world tour for women pro beach at this time. That's Jackie Silva with the booth. Jackie Silva, a terrific player from Brazil. And Patty Dodd originally, she grew up in Colombia, part of the Colombian national team. So they're playing together. As I said, Jackie's got the hat on, and that's her partner right there playing. Now, we found this footage and just thought it'd be fun for everybody to look back some 30 years and see some of the play and notice something. They're balling out. They're no joke. They could always play. And it was great when the WPVA formed because it gave women their own tour, their own sponsors, their own television deal, and an opportunity to be front and center all the time instead of Lost on a Court that might have been hosted in a big men's event. And so that said, I think the popularity of that led to ability to host these kind of events across the world. So we just wanted to show a little. There she is, Patty Dodd. She was Colombian national team's a two-time All-American from UCLA, 16-year pro with the WPVA and the AVP, and 15 career Open wins, including the Manhattan Open, a Hall of Famer, and a Hall of Fame person as well. Patty Dodd, are you there? Hi, Patty.
Hi, Denny. How are you doing?
Did you recognize that footage?
Oh, yes, I do. That was a big time tournament in Tokyo, and so it was pretty prestigious to be able to win it. Big crowd, big purse, and and we were wearing what the kids call these days the onesies. So
Yeah.
we're back. The girls today think they're so fashionable, but we were wearing them.
That's right.
Whatever 25 years ago, and looking okay in them.
No doubt. I really enjoy thinking back to that time because, I was young when I came onto it, and I didn't really realize that so many of you were breaking some new ground because it took a lot to jump on with a new tour, have a self-sustaining domestic tour here called the WPVA. And certainly there was, a generation that preceded you that pushed women's beach volleyball forward. But your generation, I feel like, really pushed it into the mainstream with a weekly show and with, with high level of play and high visibility in every market. And you really set the stage for the next generation to come up.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in those days, the purses outside of Japan and a couple of other events that were not great compared to what the women make today, because there was no equality at the time, and that didn't come until a lot later. And but we were doing what we loved. We were not really playing for the money. It was just a nice bonus to be able to make some during those days.
Patty, in those days, I think one of the things that was most remarkable is the crowds in certain cities. It always surprised me how many in non-traditional beach communities would come out to see the event. And they would come out like all day Saturday and all day Sunday. And then when I look back and I realized that, WPVA had its thing going, AVP had a thing going. The Bud Light Fours had a thing going. Multiple nights of programming, and then on the weekends, there would be some live events. It really was in the culture. It was mainstreamed in the late '80s, in the early '90s.
Yeah, absolutely. For us, it was surprising to go to places like Grand Rapids, Michigan, go to Chicago, and have huge crowds. But that when you have that many people interested and cheering and knowledgeable of the game, for that matter, it just made it that much more important that we perform, because we were entertaining the crowd.
Yes, and Jackie Silva, who was shown playing with you there, now she was an entertainer.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll put it right up there with Misty May and today's generation, because there's not a ton of video, as you guys probably saw in the video, is not of great quality. There was no such a thing as HD, so I'm aging myself right now. But it was she, like I said, right up there with Misty May. A tiger, a warrior on the court, and it was a lot of fun to play with her.
I love remembering some of those days. Now, as I mentioned, you were an accomplished indoor player, both in the junior level in Columbia, and then you made your way to UCLA, and you played on some of those great teams. What was it like in your time balancing indoor with beach, and how did that transition happen? What I'm guessing would have been like about the mid '80s.
Yes. So when I played volleyball at UCLA, beach was not part of any type of collegiate competition. And I really started playing my junior year at UCLA during the spring, when we were in the off season. One of my really good friends on the team, Liz Masakayan, literally will drag me down to the pier in Santa Monica. And that's how I learned. I kind of just learned by playing. We didn't have coaches those days, so you were pretty much self-taught, figure it out, and we will play against whoever. Actually, Will Chamberlain will play a lot at that beach, and he was great at doing a lot of trash talk, and we just had a grand time. Santa Monica Pier was only about a 15-minute drive from UCLA, and Liz had a moped, and I just hopped in the back of the moped, and we went down there, and actually we played a lot of tournaments together.
So those days of learning there led to, we I always want to compliment Art Kavuyan, who is a great beach volleyball historian. We take some of his photos. I always want to give him credit. But there's Liz jump serving. And if you look beneath that Coors Light banner, that's me standing on that stage, which I got to do all weekend in various cities around the country. But that's one of our picks. I think we also have you going over. And I love this shot because of the Coors Light. They were such a solid supporter. And I'll always, be thankful for them. And they loaned us Tim Simmons, their guy who did publicity. And there's one of those bigger crowds, this, I think, in Pismo Beach. And so, I just think it's important for the younger generation to understand that this didn't just, come out of nowhere. It didn't just start when collegiate beach volleyball started. It's been coming for a long time. Women have long played this sport, and they played on the beaches of Southern California for a long time as well. And there was really a beautiful time there, I thought, that led, to what we see now.
Yes, it was a very special time. And like I said, we were playing because we loved it, and I still love it. And that's why I'm still involved with beach volleyball. And now my time is not being active on the court as a player, but certainly very active as a coach.
It is. And from my vantage point of being an operator of the events and then just watching from the tent, I've always admired your style of coaching, which is very instructional based, and it's calm and it's good instruction, and your players seem to do particularly well. Who would you say are some of your mentors in coaching, or who might you style your coaching style from?
Well, for sure, Andy Benikowski, who was my coach at UCLA. And I think perhaps because I play for different coaches, you learn what you don't want to be your style as a coach because you did not appreciate. I did not appreciate punitive coaches, coaches that belittle players. So I think is a lot of it also comes from learning of what not to do, because I didn't like that treatment. Therefore, I don't want to do that to my players.
Yeah, I think I learned the same way when I got into coaching. I kind of remembered what didn't work for me, and I think we fall in line on the same there. Patty, what is it? I think the other thing that I've at least heard is that you also have a full person approach. In other words, you want good academic performance. If you can get that, at least giving your best all around. And I think when I hear that, that reminds me of what I've studied at UCLA with Coach John Wooden, with Manikowski, and with others. There was this idea of a well-rounded both athlete and scholar.
Yes, sportsmanship is certainly a very important part of how we coach at MBSand. We have an acronym, and the S stands for supportive partners. The B stands for better the ball, better your partner, better yourself. So there is this constant um, education of the athlete, and learning to control your emotions, learning to communicate with your partner so that you can get the most out of each other.
What's the for those I have an audience that's not just beach volleyball. They like all kinds of different sports. Why don't you talk a little bit about the emergence of clubs on the beach? Because when junior beach volleyball started, and that would have been about like 94 when Gino and I got going with the AAU program. A couple other organizations came in right after. It was more the parents would enter their kids into a tournament, and then slowly they started to access some of the ex-pros and get a little bit of training and so forth, and then the club scene emerged. So tell us a little bit about what brought you to forming a club, and then that holistic approach of bringing younger players in and teaching them the game.
Well, I fell in love with coaching my 5th year at UCLA. I was a graduate assistant, and that year we happened to win the NC2As, and I was hooked. I mean, the fact that what my contributions had anything to do with us performing better, I thought that was an incredible feeling for me. So I knew that at some point I will want to be really involved with coaching. So with my 2 daughters, I was assistant for their indoor club teams, and I knew that when my youngest left 5 years ago to go to college, that I wanted to start a beach volleyball club, specifically not indoors. Indoors comes with a lot of headaches of trying to keep 12 to 14 families happy, because only 6 kids get to play. So I like the idea of having my beach club, because everybody gets to play. There is no bench. It makes for a pretty complete athlete, because you have to be good at all the skills. It also for a mentally strong athlete, because they have to figure it out a lot on their own, because there is very little coaching allowed during play. So the job of the club coach really happens during practice. You can have definitely some influence during the tournaments, but a lot of the work has to be done well before the tournament begins.
Yeah, I love that part. Always have of beach volleyball, not unlike for people who might know about junior tennis or junior golf, where it's really driven by the athlete. There's no real active coaching throughout the competition. I think that makes a big difference in the development of the player. I love, Patty, when we go to refer to volleyball now, we automatically say indoor or beach. And that didn't always used to be the day. Beach used to be this other thing you had to identify right away, right? And volleyball used to just mean indoor. And so it's great that we've seen this evolution and it kind of move into the mainstream. Tell us a little bit about our the national champions we have coming up on the show. I know you used to coach them in their younger years when they were playing. And I certainly remember them coming around the tent when they were in the 10s division and the like. And it's fun watching these players emerge into such strong athletes.
Well, you're about to interview two very special young women, not little girls anymore. I remember, I think Kelly was 11, and I happened to be at some event. I was also Kelly's Spanish teacher at American Martyrs, so I knew Kelly more as an outstanding student and dancer. But I happened to be walking at a youth tournament, and I literally had to do a double take because I saw this kid. I didn't recognize her at first because she was wearing glasses and a hat. And I saw this kid make a couple of moves that, like I said, I had to do a double take. And little did I know that about 6 months later, she was going to be training at my club when I opened it up in the fall of 2015. And with Savannah, her dad, Sterling, actually had a lot to do with MBSand becoming the concept that it was then, and now the club that it has been formed. He bugged me for a couple of years to come in and coach with him, and I was hesitant because I didn't want to miss out on my own kids' games. So like I said, I wanted to wait until my kids were out of the house to start this venture. These two fine young girls, fine young women, I met them as little girls, are not only really good people, but they're really good athletes. By themselves, they're both pretty great beach volleyball players, but together they make a formidable team. I remember, I want to say maybe it was 2-3 years ago, there is a tournament called the Cal Cup, and there are 12 qualifiers. And that year they played in 11 of the qualifiers and they won 10. So they have been pretty dominant from a young age. They're very difficult to beat. And a lot of fun to coach.
Now, I know Dallas and Dominique both came up in the sport and had their time there. And I understand that your husband actually might have played a little bit, but he's really good at managing the equipment for your club at this point. But apparently he used to play a little bit. Good underhand server, from what I understand.
Yes, so my husband happens to be my dad, and
that guy. Yeah.
And yeah, so we his title with the club is equipment manager. Although as of late, he's been helping me coach a lot more. So I'm really enjoying. We expanded MBSand to the south because right now in LA, organized volleyball for clubs is not permitted, quote unquote. So we have expanded to the south, and we have been practicing in Irvine. And Mike has been helping me. I had to bring the big gun with me to be able to draw the crowds, and it's working.
I love it. Patty, I want to thank you for coming on, but I want to recognize, and I want to make sure our younger generation recognize what an important part of this evolution of the sport you are, from a player, a pioneer in that area, a great player on that level, and then to helping so many young people learn the sport and move forward with it.
All right, fantastic. Well, enjoy interviewing Kelly and Savannah. I have a very special spot in my heart for both of those two.
Love it. I love it. Thank you, Patty. Great. Patty Dodd. And she was so nice. I can't say that for everybody. When I first came on the Women's Pro Beach Tour, can't say that everybody was nice. Patty was super nice. I'll never forget that. What a great person and a great player. All right. Hey, we got the 16 girls national champions, Belardi and Standage. We don't bring them on without a video montage. Let's do that.
wide and out of bounds, and that'll do it. It's the team from Southern California, Belardi and Standage, that take the gold medal.
Some big defense, but ultimately Belardi gets the kill, and that is the game.
Give it up for your 15U national champions, Savannah Standage and Kelly Belardi.
Let's bring them on. They are a team on the beach winning 3 straight national championships, maybe more. We got to look into that. They go to opposing high schools, 2 of the great high school programs in the country, both in the Los Angeles area. Let's bring them on. Kelly Belardi and Savannah Standage. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Savannah.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, we have your name written underneath, so everybody knows who you are. That's a good thing. And welcome to coming on the show. The last ball you saw going down had a little bit different of a crowd than the other 2. And that, of course, is because, we were able to operate that at the Chula Vista Elite Athlete Center where, we had the COVID restrictions and we had to restrict how many people came in. Tell me, Kelly, was that a little bit different playing in that small of a crowd for the national championship?
Yeah, definitely. Because especially in the past years, when we would play in like Hermosa, there'd be such a big crowd and like so many people there, like cheering, and like a lot of out-of-state teams. So then this time it was definitely different, but the summer was better because we got to like train a lot rather than playing tournaments, which like prepared us well for that tournament.
Savannah, you've been an accomplished player for a long time, just like Kelly, and we certainly remember you coming around since the younger years. What was it like? Playing, at the Chula Vista Center where you didn't have that crowd pumping you up?
It was definitely different. It was very different, and yeah, it was hard. It was kind of like easier to play though, like less stress on you because everyone brings a big crowd from Texas or Florida, and they all cheer against you. So it was a lot like easier, but I wish my family could have watched.
Yeah, we do. Savannah, what do you think is the best part of your game between, your attack or, I noticed you're starting to put up a block. You play some really good defense. What part of your game do you think is the best part of your game, Savannah?
I feel like defense is my strongest place. I've just been working on it so much that it has gotten a lot better recently.
Kelly, what do you think? Is she playing good defense out on the court?
Yeah, definitely. I've also like worked a lot on blocking recently, so kind of like in the finals of nationals, I feel like I was blocked a little more, and she defended really well, so it worked out well.
Kelly, you also go up and put up a block every now and again, and I know on your high school team, and I'll mention that now, that's Marymount High School in the west side of Los Angeles, a recognized power in high school volleyball. You're the setter for their team, but you put up a block on the beach. What part of being a setter indoor and playing at a high level indoor as a setter helps you transition to the beach?
Oh yeah, it helps so much. Just I think court vision and using my hands. I started using my hands a lot more recently just because I can put up a better set. Also playing front row from indoor helps with my blocking too. I don't know. I think indoor helps a lot with beach, so they help each other out.
Now, Savannah, I'll mention, goes to Maricosta High School. That's in Manhattan Beach. Also a recognized power in indoor volley as well as beach. Savannah, I understand when you were young, your dad, Sterling, was, instrumental in coaching and developing your play.
Yeah, he was. He was the one that got me into the sport. Yeah, I don't think I would have played volleyball if he wasn't my dad. At least beach volleyball.
Well, that's nice to say, but I'll just say you've overcome a lot having to, okay, I'm just joking. I have to early. I have to. How could I not take a shot? No, your dad is fun to take shots at, and he knows that.
Yeah, he is.
It's interesting how you came up. You be at the beach and so forth. and now at Maricosta. Tell me what do you see yourself? What position you play in indoor for Maricosta?
Wasn't really anything. I would go in and serve and go out. But
What are you playing in practice?
in practice, I'd say I was like a defensive specialist probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it's important for people to realize in different parts of the country just how much talent there is in Southern California for like indoor and beach volleyball for girls. It's not unlike, I would compare it to like Texas in football in the big city parts. Like, you know, you could be a really good JV football player and you'd be a star in most states, you know, like in Texas. But same will go in volleyball in Southern California. It's really competitive. And I would imagine both of you enjoyed that kind of competition. Kelly, do you like that? Do you like playing a big time schedule indoor?
Yeah, I love it. I love like playing in big games indoor because also it's a lot different from beach, just with like the team aspect and then the crowd. Like, I really like it though, and it pushes like both my games to be better by playing both. So.
Kelly, I understand you took a big step forward recently, and I'm not talking about committing to Stanford. I'm talking about you got your driver's license.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really? Now, is there any restrictions? No, like they write anything on there? Don't do this while you play volleyball, anything like that? No?
I mean, I'm not allowed to drive people yet because like.
Okay. All right, but that's a big move.
Right.
And the other thing, and I say this as a proud member of the Irish heritage. I understand Irish dancing is in your game, part of your skill set.
Yeah, I used to be a competitive Irish dancer, which I think helped me a lot in my volleyball game with like my footwork and stuff.
I would imagine. When we go to AAU Junior Olympic Games, sometimes we see. There's like Junior Olympic Games are multi-sport. So sometimes there's like clogging, and Irish dancing is also another thing. And I always watch them and I'm like, those feet, like they would be great at, you know, like volley or basketball or whatever. Where did you compete when you were doing Irish dancing? Like what would it be like at parish halls or?
Yeah, well, I first started at my school. So they had like classes at my school. And then I basically like I switched studios when I got older, so I would practice up in like Hollywood kind of, and then the competitions were called like feshes. So when you'd go to like nationals or regionals or worlds, they'd be all over. So I traveled to like Rhode Island, Montreal, like I traveled a lot of places.
Wow, that's fantastic. That sounds like fun. And so Savannah, I would imagine you've encouraged Kelly to follow you in your footsteps as a TikTok star. In launching some videos with her Irish dancing. Like if she tightens that up on TikTok, that could blow up.
Yeah, I've been making fun of her for it since we were 10. So.
Right. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Marley might have dug in a little bit. Let's see if we got a TikTok from your repertoire. Let's see what we got here. We wanted to make sure we found family appropriate TikToks.
Yeah.
And so, Savannah, what do you like about that technology? And no, it's new to a lot of people that watch my show. They're super interested in all kinds of sports, but they really like this show when they get to meet young people. And so they probably heard TikTok. They don't know how it works. So what part of it do you like?
I think it's just like funny, and it's a way to like make fun of my friends a lot. So that's what I did. That's one of my friends, Ethan Gordon and Jim Garrison, and that was an actual game. They did that. They were actually playing a game, and they did multiple plays like that.
I love it. Okay, now that we know that, let's watch it again. Now that we know that it's reality. Oh, I say that as a boy that got made plenty of fun of and made plenty of fun on the other side. So that's fun stuff. All right. Hey, your run through the 16s in Chula Vista, it was a pretty good field, huh? There was a lot of good teams in that. Kelly, who do you think was your most difficult game in that national championship?
Trying to remember. I think the semis was a really hard game. It was really close because it was really hot and there were a lot of. This is not really related. There were a lot of bees. So before the game, they were like attacking us.
They were attacking Kelly.
Yeah, I don't know why. Which didn't have anything to do with the game really, but it was kind of funny. But I think that game was definitely the hardest. We played Chloe Hooker and Isabella Martinez. We played really well too. So it was a good game.
Savannah, I remember. So when you guys weren't there, but when we did in Florida in Cocoa Beach, like we were dealing. Well, there was a rocket, and then there's a shark warning, and then a tornado. I mean, like that hurricane comes in. But out in Chula Vista, it's the heat and the bees, and they came swarming through. Savannah, did any of them get you, or don't bees sting you?
No, they were like attacking Kelly.
Kelly,
the only person that were going after.
They were.
It
was honestly a good warm up though. I did a lot of running.
She ran around the whole stadium.
They attacked our trainer too.
Yes, and our trainer is there to protect everybody, but all the bees were going after her, so she was down. That was a rough time. Tell me a little bit. We were looking up in our records, and we saw that you two have been together for 3 straight national championships. Is that sound right, or did we miss one? Might you have played together when you were in 12s or something like that?
I think it was.
It might have.
12, maybe it was 12s, 14s, 15s,
There it is.
16s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4 out of 5.
Wow.
That's a run. That is a run. Kelly, what's a player that you particularly like that our audience would know that's either a professional or was a professional that you kind of look up to their game and see a little bit of your game in them?
Definitely Sarah Sponsel. Going back to she was a setter, I'm a setter, and she's very tricky with the shots she does and how she uses her hands, which I think is really cool. And her defense is insane. She gets everything up. It's really fun to watch. So I kind of want to represent.
How about you, Savannah? Is there a particular player you look up to?
I've always looked up to Karch Karai, Sinjin Smith, and Randy Stokos. Those are my 3 favorite players ever. And then also Sarah Sponsel. She's amazing.
I like you bringing up Karch and so forth. And I know nobody's got the attention span to hang in there for a 130-minute interview. But if you ever want to do a project, then you should listen to that interview I did with them. He goes back to the 80s and all the way forward, and he's a fascinating guy. And I also had Sinjin on the show, so I got to work on getting Stokos up here. But then when I hear those 3, and I understand, Savannah, your favorite band is the Rolling Stones. Is that right?
Yeah.
Man, they're coming together. I wonder if curling has anything to do with that. Playing only the Rolling Stones while you're driving back and forth to practice.
Exactly.
Yep. That's how I got my kids hooked on stuff. So I got some questions for you, and sometimes I let you guys answer together, but I think we're going to go solo. Okay? And you try to answer the best you can as we go down the line. So I'll start with you, Savannah. First question. That's Kelly.
Okay.
I know her. Okay, Savannah. What's your favorite shoe? If you're going out at night or whatever, you're going to throw on a casual shoe. You're going to go out. What's your go-to?
Jordans.
Nice. Man, Jordan. That guy must make some money. All right. Yeah. What's your first pet?
A cat named Sophie.
A cat named Sophie. Okay. Yeah. What's your favorite sports team that you're not on? So something in either college or pro or something.
Oh, I would just say the Clippers.
Oh, okay. Nice. Hey, Clippers are coming strong. Clippers, Lakers, Western Conference Finals is going to be awesome. Do you have a nickname that we don't know about?
People just call me Savvy or Sav.
Sav, nice.
Yeah.
All right. What about? I would ask you a video game, but I like asking this of young people. Do you have a favorite board game?
Favorite board game? Probably Clue.
Nice. Right. Good call. What's your favorite main dish?
Main dish. Filet mignon. If you say it, that's what you say.
Good, strong. Favorite dessert?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert, ice cream.
Okay. What kind of ice cream you like the best?
Cotton candy.
Oh wow. That's I bet that's Ciena's too. All right. Favorite movie ever?
Animal House.
What was it?
Animal House.
Yeah, me and Sterling got to talk. Favorite musical group?
The Rolling Stones.
Got that one already, huh? Do you have a favorite author or like a favorite book?
I'd probably just say J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
And Harry Potter.
Yep, that's a good series. Favorite professional athlete?
Shaquille O'Neal.
What if you have a favorite quote? I love the Shaq Daddy. What's if you had like a quote or like a mantra or something you say to fire yourself up before a game?
I just say like let's go. That's like all I say really.
I don't know who said that. So we'll have to look that up. All right, and then finally, what's your go-to TikTok dance? Like you got one move that it's kind of like your signature.
I just have to say the Renegade, I guess.
Do it.
Okay. I don't know what that is. What's that look like?
Oh, I don't. I totally forgot what it looks like.
Good answer. All right, bring on Kelly. All right, Kelly, you get a lead on these questions because you heard me ask them. But what's your first pet you ever had?
A dog, Lucky.
Lucky. Oh, nice. Favorite sports team, like college or pro or something?
Probably the Lakers.
Okay. See, this is I find it highly appropriate. I'm a Laker fan, but I'm also a Clipper fan, and that makes people upset. But I go for both because I want LA to dominate. Okay. Nicknames.
Probably just like KB.
KB. Yep. How about favorite board game?
I was gonna say Clue too, and I also like Monopoly.
Okay. Favorite main dish?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Ooh.
I can eat that every.
It is. That's one of my go-tos. All right. Favorite dessert?
Probably chocolate lava cake.
Ooh. Favorite movie?
I really like La La Land, but I also like Endless Love.
So not Animal House.
No, never seen that
one. Favorite musical group?
The Beatles, maybe.
Wow, I like it. That's a good reach back. Favorite author? Favorite book?
I like The Book Thief. That's my favorite book I've ever read.
Yep.
Yeah.
Favorite professional athlete?
Probably Kobe.
Yep. I can understand. Favorite quote, like or a mantra or something that gets you going.
Yeah, I think my favorite quote is like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Nice. That's Muhammad Ali brought it strong with that. Yes, he did. He stood for a lot too. And do you have a go-to TikTok move?
I don't. I'm not really as much of a TikToker as Savannah.
I know, but she could this whole Irish dance career could be huge.
We can.
If I would have told you and you had your appropriate shoes, we would have done some Irish dancing. All right. Kelly and Savannah, thank you for being on the show. Congratulations on all of your success. I know you're both take your academics just as strong, and I know that you're both good citizens too. And all of that makes us happy to have you on the show, so that the rest of the people that watch our show can see just how accelerated and how you guys are moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. Thank you, girls. Glad we had you on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. I like having smart young people on the show. Maybe I'll have some dumb old people on the show soon. That reminds me, Randy Rosenbloom drops tomorrow. All right, I set that up. That was
I think
stupid.
Kelly's finished to wear Kobe and Shaq shirts.
All right, so hey, again, just if you haven't, the reason we're relaunching some of these video podcasts where they're straight through interview is because they came out real early in the process of us dropping video podcasts, and they haven't always been. So Randy, he's got a really fascinating life, and if you get a chance, listen to that. That drops tomorrow, the video podcast. You can also hear it, on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, if you just want to listen to the audio version. So that's available. And again, we got us some Jonas Never. Let's go. We could beat down the Peacock and get him on our show. And Jonas Never, if you haven't looked him up, do it on Instagram, Never1959. He's a fascinating artist, and hopefully you get a chance to look at that. All right, it looks like we got some box cobbler. We roll it, we kick it out with Buck, and we move on.
This is why all the girls in town follow me all around. Just like me, well, they long to see sports stories. Sports stories.
Sports Stories with Denny Lennon is supported by the AAU. Find a local event and join at aausports.org. And remember, you can catch your favorite amateur sports live stream, replays, and highlights at ballertv.com. Sports Stories, along with East Bay, supports the Heroes Movement, a nonprofit that bridges the gap from mental or physical therapy to getting strong again through strength and conditioning workouts. This free service is available for any veteran of the United States Armed Forces. Visit heroesmovementusa.org for more information. Sports Stories, along with thousands of people across the country, also supports the My Stuff Bags Foundation, a nonprofit that provides traumatized children with new belongings and new hope. Learn more at mystuffbags.org. Sports Stories with Denny Lennon is a production of Sports Stories, Inc. and is available on Apple Podcasts and YouTube or wherever you listen and watch. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and give us a review. It really helps spread the word. You can find all our social media links, archives, and other info on our website at sportsstoriespodcast.com. Special thanks to the John R. Wooden Course and Wooden's Wisdom. Original music for Sports Stories is courtesy of Lennon Music Productions. Original images by Ciena Lennon Photography. Sports Stories is produced by Christine Jimbo and Marley Rice. Sports Stories is edited by Bob McCall. Additional staff include Ray Castro, Teresa Dolan, Jake Downey, Carlos Haro, and Buck Magic Lennon. Kick it out, Buck!
Yeah, kick it out! Kick it out! Yeah, buddy! Way to kick it out! Good job!